Hello and welcome to the information session on applying for accommodation on campus or Trinity Hall through the additional needs route with Angelina from the Disability Service. So what we're going to cover in this information session is how to apply for campus accommodation or for accommodation in Trinity Hall, the additional needs form. So this is the extra step to apply due to the impact of disability. We're going to talk about the need for evidence of disability, and then I'm going to share with you some useful links. The accommodation application process opens in February of each year for continuing students to apply for accommodation on campus or in Trinity Hall for the following academic year. The application process will open for incoming students later in the summer. When the application process opens, it will remain open for 4 weeks. And the locations for on-campus accommodation include Front Square, New Square, Printing House Square, Botany Bay, Goldsmith Hall, the Business School, and accommodation on Pierce Street, and then there's Trinity Hall applications as well. Steps to making an application with additional needs. So the first thing you need to do is to log on to the accommodation office's website to apply for a room. You might need to create an account if you have not created one in previous years. Once you've created one, or if you already have one, you can log in to apply for a room. This is an online application, so you'll be brought through it intuitively as you click on the next steps once you're answering the questions along the lines of what your student number is, what year you're currently in, etc., etc. You will be asked at one point in this application to write a personal statement on why you feel that you need accommodation on campus or in Trinity Hall, depending on where you're applying. It would be important to make a note in here that you will also be applying with the additional needs form, so that they know to look out for that form once you complete that form. And then the final step is to complete this additional needs form. So this is an extra step that students need to take if they want the impact of their disability taken into account for their need for a room on campus or in Trinity Hall. This online application form can be found on the Accommodation Office's website or on the Disability Service website to find that additional needs specific form. And that will ask you again why, due to the impact of your disability, you feel that a room on campus or in Trinity Hall would be most beneficial to you. Applying for a room and the additional needs form. So you can apply for a room without including the additional needs form. In this case, your disability will not be considered as part of your application, and you will be entered into a lottery system for a room on campus with all other student applications. The additional needs form, however, allows disabled students to explain why, as a result of the impact of their disability, that a room on campus would be beneficial to them. The Disability Service will then review all additional needs applications under Category A. What I mean by Category A is when you're completing that online form for additional needs, you will be asked to put yourself into either Category A or Category B. Category A is for students registered with the Disability Service whose application they want assessed by the Disability Service. If you tick Category B, you're ticking that because you have a mental health difficulty and possibly would like counselling, if they know you better, to review your application. If you have an illness that you would like College Health to review your application, or if you have personal financial circumstances or other personal circumstances that you would like the Senior Tutor's Office to review your application. There's lots of guidelines on this on the Disability Service website and also on the Accommodation Office website. Evidence of disability. So if you are currently registered with the Disability Service, you do not need to submit evidence of disability with your application. There is a section on your application form where you can give consent to the Disability Service to review your documentation on record. Please ensure that the Disability Service have up-to-date documentation for you so that we can fully consider your request for a room if you apply through the additional needs route and we are assessing your application. Students who may not yet be registered with the Disability Service who would like their additional needs taken into consideration, particularly incoming students who haven't had the chance to register with us yet, when making their application for a room, it is very important that you submit evidence of disability with your application so that it can support your additional needs application. It is also recommended that you submit a letter or a form, which will be provided on the accommodation website, on a fitness to live independently. So what that means is, so that the accommodation office can ensure your safety and accommodation on campus or in Trinity Hall, they would like to have a letter from your medical professional stating that you are fit and able to live independently on campus or in Trinity Hall. The accommodation bursary. So just to note, the Disability Service does offer an accommodation bursary to students who are registered with the Disability Service and who receive a room on campus or in Trinity Hall for an academic year, who are also in financial need. The accommodation bursary will open at the beginning of each academic year. As long as we are able to fund this, we will continue to do this as best we can. Generally, it will open for continuing students in the first semester, and it will open for incoming students in the second semester of their first academic year. For full information on eligibility criteria and for more information on this bursary, you can view the Disability Service website. And now for some useful links. So the first link there is the link to the accommodation office's website. This one is really, really important because this is where you have to create an account or log in to apply for a room in the first instance. So it's really important that you do that first. Additionally to that, then you can go to the Disability Service website, which is the second link, where you can find the link to the additional needs form itself. Just a reminder, this is a second form, so if you want your disability taken into account and the need for a room due to the impact of your disability taken into account, you need to fill in both forms. You need to do both things, two things. Along with the additional needs form on our webpage there, you'll also find guidelines on how we actually want you to fill out that additional needs form. So it's really important that you give us as much information as possible, and we've given some pointers on exactly what we want you to tell us so that we can best understand your situation and why the need for a room is important to you. The last link there then is a link to the Students' Union accommodation webpage with the welfare officer. This gives you a really nice guide on living in Dublin in general, and if for whatever reason getting a room on campus or in Trinity Hall doesn't work out for you, how you might go about getting some accommodation in Dublin. So that's another really useful link to have there as well. And that's the end of the information session. So thank you for listening, and if you have any questions, please attend our drop-in sessions between 12 p.m. and 2 p.m. in the Disability Service in Printing House Square, Monday to Friday, or email us at askds@tcd.ie. Thank you.